doing today?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Appreciate y'all taking the time to come on out. Good practice today. A lot of life lessons to be learned, but when it's all said and done with, we'll keep chopping this wood and making sure that we're doing it the right way. With that said, I'm all ears.
So what's kind of your assessment in the first couple of days of how the offense is going with the installs and things like that?
You know what? Everything is going good so far. Obviously, you know how spring ball goes. It's just like whether you're at the next level or at this level. You have good days. You know, the defense comes back and has a good day as well. And what that does, it creates balance. Obviously, our guys got to learn how to put consistent behavior on tape. They're working. The effort has been good. We just need to learn how to detail the details. But when it's all said and done with, it's a great learning opportunity, you know, for us as a coaching staff, but also as players as well.
What have you seen early on from quarterback Ethan Garbers?
You know what? Ethan's doing a heck of a job. We got a lot of competition in that room. Coach Ted White's doing a heck of a job with those guys, teaching them the system. There's been some good, there's been some bad, there's been some ugly from all of them. But like I said, it's still early. You know, I'm not expecting us to come out and set the world on fire. What I want us to do is just to continue, first and foremost, learn how to put consistent behavior on tape. Once we learn how to put consistent behavior on tape, the rest of everything will take care of itself. But when it's all said and done with, these guys are doing a great job of accepting the challenge. Coach Ted's doing a great job of coaching them up. Now we just got to continue going with the process.
Is your approach with college players have to be different than NFL? I mean, maybe, you know, a little bit slower or, you know, just because, you know, they're at a lower level?
I think you still, I think you just need to teach and coach. Teaching and coaching does not change. You still have to do a great job of over-communicating clarity. You got to make sure that you're reaching your guys in the room. It's never easy, regardless of whether it's the pro, it's college or high school, because everybody accepts or retains information differently. You just got to learn how that particular player or that particular person processes information. But that's our job as position coaches and coordinators to figure that out. And when it's all said and done with, we just got to make sure we're putting the right people in the right place to be successful. And 3 days into this is not an opportunity to say, well, he can play and he can't play. Nah, you want to have your full body of work for all of spring ball just to truly get an assessment of what the young men can do or not.
How does it feel to be back at UCLA after 20-ish years?
You know, it feels pretty damn good. I should say that. I mean, everybody thinks it's misery out here with this weather. It's cloudy and it's windy. This feels great. You guys have no idea. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, look at this facility. This facility wasn't here. I remember once upon a time, this used to be the old coach and running back room here, you know? So there's tons of things that have changed. Coach Foster's doing a hell of a job. I'm glad he considered me. It feels good to be back home. I got family all over the place. Like I said, the sun is starting to come out right now. It's peeking through, and you can't pick a better place to be, you know, than UCLA. I mean, it's beautiful.
And the last time we were here, you had the title of recruiting coordinator, and obviously a lot's changed in the landscape of college football on that side. What do you think of just how college football's changed in the recruiting aspect?
Well, first of all, recruiting is still the same. That hasn't changed. You gotta have relationships built. You still got to do an effective job of communicating with the people and connecting with the people that you want. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different things that have changed with the NIL, and I'll tell you like this. Honestly, I don't know very much about it because that's a head coach's question. But one thing I do know is this: you always want to identify the best players. You want to identify the best people who wants to be the best student athlete and wants to come out here and pursue a degree. If they're talented enough, they'll have an opportunity to make it to the next level. But if a young man wants to come to this institution and earn a degree, and they happen to have some talent, we'll coach them up and find out if they can play at the next level. But when it's all said and done with, recruiting is about the relationships that you're building with the people.
What made you want to come back to college when Deshaun presented the opportunity?
You know what? It was a very unique situation because I was still weighing through a number of decisions, and when Deshaun had reached out, I thought it was pretty neat. You know, obviously it's first of all it's UCLA. Second of all, I remember watching Deshaun play, not only as a player here, but when he came out of high school, out there in Ooh,
Tustin.
Tustin. I was about to say I did Fontana. But that's a damn shame.
He would not have liked that.
Yeah. But playing at Tustin, right? But we've always had a relationship, and I thought it was unique for him to give me a call. And for him to get hired, I had told him congratulations. And I told him, listen, you know, I said right now, just be patient. I got to wait through a few things. But we don't have this opportunity to work together like this and help each other. And so I thought that was huge, that he would want me to come out. And I just wanted to jump on the opportunity and come and help Deshaun build the program up to what he wants his vision to be.
Eric, you said in an email when you got appointed that, sorry,
You're good. Go ahead.
that you weren't fired in Washington. Did Dan offer you a job, or what were some of the other opportunities you were weighing?
Here's what I'm going to say is this. I'm here coaching at UCLA. All that other stuff, you can go talk to the Commanders, okay? I'll leave it just like that.
What kind of a relationship do you want to have with the players? I mean, it seems like you're pretty firm with them out there, but you've mentioned like teaching a few times.
Well, you always want to develop personal relationships with guys, because I've had a relationship now with Maurice Jones-Drew, Chris Horton, Dennis Keys, Matthew Slater, Mercedes Lewis. Matt Moore. So those personal connections that you make with the people are very important. You hear me keep referring to them as people because they're young men, all right? And I think sometimes we lose sight of that. All right? It's always important to connect with the people that you want to work with, because this isn't just about football, all right? It's about helping young men to improve themselves, to grow in this world and learn how to be successful off the field, as well as being successful on the field. So it's all about developing the personal relationships and allowing those relationships to just grow over time. Because yes, I understand they do want to play football. Everybody has a dream of playing in the league. But my job is to make sure that these kids are going to understand that at some point in time, that itinerary is going to be taken away from you, and you're no longer going to be required to step out on that field. So what are some of the life lessons that you're going to learn while we're together that's going to help carry you over in life, to helping you to become the best husband, all right, the best worker, all right, and just having a way of understanding of how we survive in today's world. So it's always connecting with the people, because if you connect with the people, guess what? The player's gonna shine. And that's what it's about.
What are some of the life lessons that you've learned through football that you want to kind of pass on?
Well, it's just like when I talk to some of these young guys that are coming in that are being recruited now. You have to learn how to develop your consistent habits. All right. Every day these guys are gonna step out here, and there's gonna be some everyday drills that they're required to do. But there's some everyday drills that they need to do to help them to become the best student. If they can apply that same work ethic that they have on the field, all right, at home and in the classroom, guess what? Those consistent habits will help carry them over in life. So those are the things that they need to do. Those are some of the life lessons. Yeah, it just doesn't apply just on the field. Now we got to be able to transfer it over where it can help me off the field as well.
How much did you lobby for Coach Castillo to come, and what does he bring as well?
You know, Coach Castillo brings a great deal of experience. He's a heck of a coach. He's a great man. I've known Coach Castillo since 1999 when I played with the Philadelphia Eagles. He's been a huge mentor in my life for a number of years. And he's a guy that I know he's going to work to get the very best out of those young men that he's working with. And you know what? I don't think I had to lobby very, very hard, because when the opportunity came about, he was wearing me out. But I'm happy to have this opportunity to work with Coach Juan, because like I said, it's always about the personal relationships that you make along the way, because you're going to see the same people going up as you do going down. And I established a relationship with him as a player when I played with the Philadelphia Eagles when he was the O-line coach, and we've always remained in contact. I did the internship with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2004 and 2005 when he was still the O-line coach, and obviously just having that connection with him and then having that opportunity to work with Coach Reed, the bond has been there, and you always want to work with good people. And that's another thing. You learn in this profession. It ain't necessarily where you work. UCLA is a special place, but more importantly, the people that you work with.
Let's talk a little bit about the offense. What do you want it to look like? What will be working well if it's going as planned?
So, first of all, I want to be on an offense that's diverse. We do want to run it, obviously. I do want to throw it. We just want to make sure that we can come out here and efficiently and effectively move the ball up and down the field. My job right now, and it's a tough question to answer right now, not that it's tough, I just want to see who can do what. All of this right now is about an evaluation. And obviously it wasn't our best day, but I want to see how guys handle things when things ain't going well. It's part of the evaluation, okay? Who can be resilient enough to overcome the adversity and find a way to pull everybody together, making sure that we can find a way to have the success that we need to have in order to achieve the goals that we want to achieve. So the biggest thing right now is just making sure that as a new staff that we're evaluating everybody and making sure we know exactly what they can do. Because now it's going to give us a better understanding of their strengths and their weaknesses, things that we can work on and things that, hey, we know we can continue moving forward with as far as the installs of what we're going to do with the offense moving forward.
How much of the offense do you want to have installed by the end of spring?
I mean, not very much. I mean, I shouldn't say not very much. You want to give them a good chunk because you want to challenge them, okay? But on top of that, you got to know when to challenge them and know when to pull back. And so right now, we'll install twice a week, and then that third practice throughout the course of the week will be just a review of those 2 installs. So those installs, you know, they won't add up like they do in the league.
Yes,
sir.
Not to get too into the weeds, but how different is the terminology? Do you pay attention to the terminology that Chip used at all, and like how different or similar your stuff is in terms of how you're installing it and the learning curve?
You know what? You I know some of these guys are used to a different terminology. So one thing, and I know when you were as a player, when you're going through that, you're trying to apply things.
Right.
Well, one thing you want guys to do is to learn the language that you're speaking, because now I want those words to start triggering pictures in their head. So, like I said, right now it's always going to be tough because every day is a brand new day. That's why you got to watch the number of installs you have. On top of that, the volume. But like I said, Tuesday we had a better practice because of the installs that they have known for the past few weeks. So now we added a few new wrinkles where everybody was a little hesitant to go out and do what they were supposed to do, but that's okay. That's part of the learning process. Now we just need to figure out how to play faster, but also too making sure that we're digesting it and spending the time together working on it so we can come out here and do what needs to be done.
In terms of evaluation, what's it been like working with Ethan Garbers?
You know what, it's been good. You know, all of those guys are doing a heck of a job. I've been very, very impressed with that room. They got some good young men in that room, and they're very, very competitive. And the only thing they want to do is they want to digest as much information. And then, they, you know, obviously with all the film that we have, everybody wants to ask about Pat and Sam and all the number of players that I've had an opportunity to work with. So it's been, they got a good group of young men, and they're doing a heck of a job, you know, under the circumstance. They're doing a heck of a job.
Just a couple more, guys.
You work with Dalen in Kansas City, and he went back to he's
Dalen
gone back
McCutcheon.
to
I'm sorry,
McCullough.
McCullough, yeah.
Did you ask him what it was like coming back to Modern College, or just any other coaches about going from the league back to college?
So first of all, Dalen is a great coach. Okay, he did a heck of a job for us in KC. So he had these 3 young men that were growing up, and they're all pretty damn good college football players. So we knew at some point in time he was probably going to leave us. But Dalen's doing a heck of a job, and I have no problems coaching at either level, because when it's all said and done with, teaching is teaching and coaching is coaching. All right, and if you have good personal skills, guess what? The recruiting takes care of itself. And so why not have this opportunity to share all my experiences to help young men and to help young people? So Dylan was a great example, but I also know why Dylan went back, because it gave him an opportunity to keep up with those young grown men that he was raising, because at that time he had 3 of them that were coming out of high school that were pretty damn good.
How big of a role does the fullback play in your offense?
You know what? We're going to find one, and we're going to make sure that he can play a huge role when needed. Yes. You know, I want to basically have a fullback. I think if you have a fullback, it helps you in a number of ways, because we ask those guys to do a number of things, whether it's blocking for a halfback, whether it's participating in the pass game, or even taking some of the stress off the tight end. So, you know, I think that position is not something that is lost, but something that is very, very valuable. And you'll notice around the league now, teams are starting to discover that fullbacks are more of a priority than not.
You know, we saw you talking to T.J. Harden quite a bit at first practice. What are your just general thoughts on what he brings as a player?
Toughness. Kid's a good kid. I mean, he works at it. It's important to him. I like everything that he's put on tape. You know, it's he's a quiet kid. I want him to be a little bit more outspoken, if anything. But he's not a kid that has many words. He allows his actions to speak. But I've enjoyed watching him. It's been fun, and he's a leader by example, and I'm impressed with what I've seen so far.
The last one over here.
Just how much leeway do you have in designing this offense? Like, what are the conversations with Deshaun like?
You know what? They're always open. Anytime we're putting something in, I always want him to feel a part of it, because I'm going to give everything to him, and I want him to say, hey, you know what? If he likes it or if he doesn't. So it's all inclusive, and when it's all said and done with, it's our offense. It's not just anything that I've designed. Yes, I got tons of ideas. I got a ton of plays, but I want this to be ours. We're a new coaching staff, so we have to build it together. And that's why I was saying I want to see exactly what we have as a team. That's why this process right now with spring ball, it's all about evaluating. I want to evaluate what we have. I think we got a good collection of young, good student athletes that can do a lot of different things. Now we just need to figure out how to do it together and do it together well. So thank you guys.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Coach.